Hello everyone. Today is 10th of August 2022, Wednesday, and this is 10:53 p.m. at the time of recording. So let's look at the state of the market today. And today I really want to start with the dollar index. So something wild has happened in the after hours today, and that has basically shaken the entire global financial market. Okay, and it all starts here. All right, and I think it basically, even before this, it actually can be attributed to something that starts at the US CPI data. I think their CPI print last month, the inflation number last month was 9.1%, and this month I think the CPI print that came out was 8.5%. So the CPI inflation has sort of fallen off from 9.1 to 8.5, and that has led to a huge market rally. Okay, it's actually very crazy if you look at the way the whole market has behaved. In the last couple of hours, it's quite crazy, and it's all visible here in the DXY. Okay, so today let's start with the DXY. Now, so yesterday, if you recall, we were somewhere in this ABCD. Okay, I had said that ideally AB, the time horizon during which AB is formed, should be equal to the time horizon during which CD is formed. So from that perspective, the price should already have reached D. Okay, so the fact that it was not reaching D, we were somewhere here yesterday. Okay, by the end of the day, so there was some possibility still that we may break above and move towards the higher side. But look at the fall that happened today. Okay, it was really crazy. So from 12:30 onward, the price started to fall, and by 8:39 it had done everything that it was supposed to do. Let's take a look at it on the hourly chart. Okay, and you'll see it better. So from 1:30 the price continued to fall. This was the big break at 5:30. Okay, so from 5:30 to 6:30, it was a huge break on the dollar index, which means US dollar fell like anything today from 5:30 to 6:30. Let's take a look at the DXY on the daily time frame, and we'll get to see this in a better manner. Right, so here we were yesterday. Okay, so up until yesterday the price was at this 50. We were on this particular bar. Today it has taken these lows. Okay, and all these bulls essentially got trapped, and all these stop losses have been taken. Okay, so today is essentially a day of euphoria for the entire financial market, except for this. Okay, except for the bulls of the US dollar. Everywhere else, it's all fun and frolic that's happening. Okay, so let's just take a look at now. Let's go back and take a look at the regular markets. We'll start with the USD INR. So USD INR, we were here. Okay, and we were above this green 200 moving average, and I was looking for some kind of possibilities of the price going in the upward direction. There was this sort of a flag that had formed. Okay, and by after this fall, so the same thing happened in the USD INR also. If you look at it on the hourly chart, same at 5:30. Okay, after market, the fall began, and it continued all the way till 7:30, 8:30 or so. Let's take a look at the USD INR futures. So this was the USD INR futures. Okay, closed yesterday below the 200. I was expecting the price to open above 200, give some kind of a consolidation and move above. It never did. So there was never a bullish trade on the USD INR for the entire day. And now what we know, which we did not know back then, like up until 5 p.m. we did not know this, but now that we know this, there's definitely going to be a huge big gap down on the dollar USD INR pair. Okay, so we have gone from 79.4 till 79.05. Let's see where we close overall, but we are somewhere here 79.05, because there's 40-point fall, which would take the price somewhere here 79.2 or so on the futures. Let's take a look at the yen. So same thing happened in yen. Now you'll start seeing the euphoria. Okay, now that we've discussed the dollar, now you'll see the euphoria everywhere. So this is yen. Look at this 5:30. Okay, same 5:30. There was a huge buying that happened in yen. Okay, such even a bigger buying than the selling that happened in dollars. For example, in this 1 hour, it moved from 58.9 all the way till 59.6. Okay, so this such a big move happened in this. All right. from 58.9 till 59.5, almost half a rupee move within 1 hour itself. Okay, crazy volatility. And if you look at the yen chart, up until 5 p.m. there was absolutely nothing. Okay, there is still not a very clear buy trade here. In fact, I was looking for this kind of retracement and a possible fall in the UN in the yen towards the 200, give some kind of bounce, and then the price goes up. But with this, it's completely, all these yen pairs have been basically trapped. Okay, now, okay, so euro INR. So euro INR, now this thesis seems to be going absolutely fine. So this is the 200, the green line. Okay, the price crossed the 200, and by the end of yesterday, we were somewhere here. All right. Today the price was pretty much sideways, but then same thing. You look at 530. Okay, the same kind of push happened in the euro. In fact, euro started going up all the way from in the afternoon itself, 1:30 onwards, up until 5:30. Okay, 5:30, 6:30. Let's look at the euro. So this is euro. So this is what we see here. Okay, from 2 o'clock here all the way till 5 o'clock, there was a continuous, surge of buying that happened in euro all the way through. Okay, now let's see where it opens tomorrow. From here 330, 430, we already, we bounced up a whole lot. Now we are sort of back to these highs. So this was where the euro closed, 81.5 here, and we are at 81.6. So there's not much of a difference. Let's see how much of a gap we actually get, and what kind of price action do we see here. Okay, if there is a buying opportunity or not, we will get to know tomorrow. Let's look at the pound. Same euphoria happened in pound. Okay, otherwise it was a completely sideways, messy, very, very messy price action. Okay, but same time frame, 430, 530. Okay, the big bounce happened in pound as well, right? So the same scenario we saw in pound. Let's take a look at the pound. Otherwise we were here, okay, in this sort of a range in the pound, and now, kind in the bullish zone above the 200, but it was not as clear as it would have been. Now with what the price action that happened tomorrow, today, let's see, if tomorrow, if we get a buying opportunity in the pound, if at all there is some heat, some steam still left for it to be taken to 97.14 kind of range. Okay, so we already saw the dollar index. Okay, so now let's also take a look at the DXY on the daily. So now technically all these bulls have been trapped. Okay, now it all depends on the dollar bulls, right? If the dollar bulls are strong, which means they want to, shed away this whole inflation data and everything, okay, and they want to take the price back towards, they still think that we are in a strong dollar environment, therefore dollar should go up. So if the bulls are the ones who are strong hands, this price should bounce back, very quickly. Okay, ideally today, maximum by tomorrow. If that happens, it can be a very good buying opportunity in the dollar index, in the US dollar. If that doesn't happen, then the whole game starts. Okay, because if it falls from here and the dollar continues to fall in the downward direction, it's euphoria everywhere, right? Then every other asset class would see a huge bid, and you can simply buy equities, buy whatever you want, buy crypto, buy everything. Okay, then it's buy everything and just hold on till the dollar is falling, basically. So the verdict is still out on where the dollar is going to go. If the dollar starts going lower away from this green line today moving average, then we are expected to see much lower levels in the US dollar. Okay, if the bulls recover from here immediately, then dollar is back, and all this euphoria will very soon be, it'll be just a euphoria then. Okay, nothing much, nothing more than that. So let's see. But for now, we can definitely remove this ABCD. This is not valid anymore. Right. So now we are in this kind of range. Yeah. Basically, this is 105. So 105 low, and 106.8 here on the upper side. Okay. All right. Let's move ahead. Take a look at the euro. So euro did, go did what we were expecting, just that you're not definitely not expecting it will happen in this particular manner. Okay, so there were these two kind of possible scenarios. Yesterday the price had breached this. There was a breakout. There was a continuation up until last night. We were somewhere here. Okay, today the price began to gave this reversal, started to do the continuation, and again, same thing that happened in Euro INR, same thing happened in Euro USD as well. So from 130 all the way till 530, the price continuously saw a bid, and the 530 was the big break, which happened in, so far we have seen in all the major currency pairs. Okay, so I think let's remove this and let's remove this also. Now we are here. Okay, this low, and now this has become a sort of a high. Mind you, this 4-hour candle has closed, so this is basically a pin bar. Okay, this particular candle, it's pin bar or a gravestone doji kind of candle. Okay, which is usually not a bullish signal on the currency pair. And at the same time, look at the volume at this, right? It's crazy volume, maximum volume on this pin bar. Okay, it was even that kind of on this huge candle also, the volume was not as much as compared to what it is on this one. This is definitely not a bullish sign. Okay, and it's really possible that it can be a short-term top, and the price can begin to consolidate here or maybe go back down the way it came. Okay, so we will definitely keep an eye on this. I think if it does prove out to be a short-term top, you'll soon start seeing price to fall. Okay, call spreads would most likely have already been put here. Call credit spreads above this 1035 zone. Okay, and people would still be looking, would already have been creating their bearish positions. If they're not already, most likely they'll do it, I think, below this particular low. Okay, so I think bearish positions would already have begun to be built after this particular candle. Let's take a look at the pound. So pound, same thing. All right, this is a 530 candle, which is again this big, and the price continues in the upward direction. Okay, so exact same thing happened in the pound as well. And now I think our bearish, this particular thesis is rejected. This particular trend line we can also remove. Okay, so we are here basically in this zone, kind of a no man's land. It was never really a trading opportunity, and it is still not, according to me. Okay, so there's nothing here to do in the pound USD pair. Let's take a look at the euro pound. So euro pound had already done this. Okay, it was a broadening top, right? Price had reversed more than 50%, and now it had taken this high. Okay, now it never could really break these highs, and it is going back in the downward direction. Okay, it has also breached the 50. So now we may look for some kind of support, maybe here. This looks a possible support. There's a double low here. Okay, 0.841. Otherwise, it can go back down to previous supports. Okay, somewhere here on this range. So this is very good. So mind you, today, so for the 530, okay, both euro went up and the pound also went up. But the fact that euro pound fell, it means that the euro GBP pair, the euro did not go up as much as pound, which is why this euro GBP went down. Okay, so euro went up against the dollar, pound also went up against the dollar, but euro did not go up as much as the pound, and therefore the whole thing, the euro pound, fell. Okay, so this is what essentially it depicts, and now we are back in sort of a range, a trade range. In fact, if we again look at the volume here, this is a similar kind of doji. Okay, look at the volume, right? It's crazy volume. Could be again an indication of a short-term top followed by a downward trend. Look at now. Let's look at the yen. So US dollar yen. Okay. So yesterday we were here in this sort of a symmetrical triangle. Okay. and today the price did break this triangle, right? So there was this sort of a this sort of breakout, consolidation, continuation, breakout, reversal, continuation, but this continuation never really went through. Okay, and the price began to fall, so it became sort of a morning star, and price began to fall down from here. Okay, and then it took a little bit of breath, and look at this one. 5:30, exact same time frame, USD yen 5:30, everything fell along with it. So in the next for the 3 hours, USD yen was again down. Okay, so USD yen, very steep fall. Now we look at euro yen and pound yen. So now interestingly, when we look at the euro yen fell like anything. Okay, so yesterday we were on this wedge, right? So this is where we were, somewhere here yesterday. Okay, today this whole wedge fall did actually take place, and this was the last 4:30, 5:30. The whole thing falls down, bang bang. Okay, so this wedge short trade happened in a very short span of time, and the whole thing collapsed like anything. Now this also indicates that again both euro USD went up, and pound and yen also went up against the US dollar, but yen went up much more than euro, and therefore euro yen fell. If we look at the pound yen, same thing happened in the pound yen also. Okay, so this is where we were on this ascending triangle on the hourly time frame. Now, one possibility of ascending triangle, which is what we are looking at, was break away from this zone. Okay, breakout from here can take the prices much higher. But 5:30 happened. There was a surge of buying that happened in the yen, and price fell. And now we are on the other side of the triangle. Okay, so now this triangle, all this support will most likely become a resistance, and price may actually continue to fall from here. Just a minute. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So now you'll see the after effects of a dollar fall on everything. Okay, so when the dollar falls, everything else rises. You look at Bitcoin, exact same 5:30 p.m. Okay, 5:30 p.m. hourly candle. Look at this bounce. Okay, so anyways, Bitcoin was doing a lot of sideways price action. There was this up move, and then there was this down move, and now there is this up move. So it's all very messy price action happening in Bitcoin on the overall scheme of things. Now we are again back to this resistance. Okay, so when price goes up from here, we can expect a continuation, but the market correlation is just mind-boggling the way it happens. Let's take a look at the crude oil. So look at this. Crude oil also took a bounce at this 5:30, although it did not happen as much as at the same pace as everything else. So 5:30 it bounced, 6:30 it fell. 7:30 it gave this nice clean doji, okay, which was sort of a bottom, okay, with this high volume. There was this doji with the maximum volume, all right, and then that turned out to be a bottom for this range, and the price continued up. Okay, so now we are back to this high. Okay, and now again, this whole red line 50 moving average is back. We are back here. Okay, so now a bounce here. Definitely, it would make sense to keep an eye on this. This is one of the possibilities, a bounce here, some kind of consolidation, and then price goes back to this 200 as this 200 progresses further. Okay, this can be an interesting opportunity, right? It may not go all the way till 200, it may reverse somewhere before, but definitely the price can now enter into the bullish zone and start to move upward from here. Let's take a look at gold. So let's see if we got a similar thing in gold as well. Look at the gold 5:30. Okay, now this did not go do one way; it did a whole two-way move. In fact, look at this. Okay, at 6 o'clock there was this huge 15-minute bar, and then this huge fall immediately after. Okay, so there was a big burst of gold buying but at the same time there was selling also. Okay, so the gold bears are still not ready to give up this particular zone, and this wedge is still very much in existence. In fact, today we completed the wedge in that now there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have 3 touches on the resistance side on the wedge, and this is a very very clear indication that bulls are not that strong in gold, and which is why we are seeing a wedge at the first place. Okay, let's take a look at gold on the daily time frame. Hopefully that gives us some better picture. So on the daily time frame, the price is definitely crossed the 50. Okay, and now I think these particular high zone is going to be an important one. If this high is broken, this particular wedge, if this is broken, then we are going up and above. Okay, and on the lower side, 1785 is the 50. So 1785 is somewhere here, right? I think this low. Oh, how interesting. So this wedge low itself is 1785 now, which also happens to be the 50 moving average. So now this can be, we can draw a possible path here, which is that the price falls, okay, somewhere here or somewhere below this, and then gives a sharp back turn. Okay, this kind of a move. All right. So price falls from here, goes to 1785. The 1785 is the wedge, this sort of support zone. Also, 1785 is the 50 moving average. Okay. So price sort of gives, goes here, makes these bears happy, traps a lot of these bears. Okay. Maybe gives you a wick, couple of wicks here, traps those bears, and then we see the next up move on the gold, okay, which will also, by the way, happen to be this big trend line which started way in March 2022. Okay, March, April. Now we are on the same trend line. Okay, so we can definitely see this as one of the possibilities, and this would be a very interesting buying opportunity if and when the price goes and starts to bounce from this zone, right? So this is something that I will definitely keep an eye on. Let's look at silver. So silver, we saw, okay, so it formed this sort of a flag slash whatever you want to call it, and then the price fell from here. Okay, today the price was somewhere here. So let's go back here on the 4 hour. So this is where we were somewhere yesterday. Okay, and today the price did bit of fall, gave this sort of a low, and then it just began to bounce in the upward direction like anything. Okay, and this was a 530, which was again a two-way move on both sides. But in silver, the price continued to go on the upward direction, and now again we are sort of resting. Okay, so definitely all these bears have been trapped, and all of their stops have been taken. Now the only question is, how strong are the bulls? In fact, do we see something here also? Let's just take all of these off now. And is this? This is a possibility. Yep, I think this is an interesting, line that is being formed. And if I continue this further, let's take this off for now. Could this be a broadening top? Hmm. This could be, because there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it went back here. So there are 3 strikes, and then this 4. So we start here. If we start here, okay, 1, 2, then 3, right? Now we are here. Okay, so this sort of a wave is actually being formed, and in fact, so let's see. I mean, this is something that is definitely to keep an eye on. If it is a broadening formation, which it definitely looks like, then it basically indicates that bulls are not very strong, which is why the prices are not rising as much as they should. Okay, so but again, your daily chart does not tell you anything like this. So on the daily chart, we don't see any bearishness as such. I mean, it's still very very bullish, and we can see a sharp up move on the daily chart. Okay, but for that, I think this high would be a crucial one, right? This high would be crucial. and if the price gives you a false and then gives a sharp uprise, then that should be an interesting place to go long. Okay, so yeah, so this is where we are on this particular zone. So let's see. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens in this 38 to 150 zone. Okay, if the price falls and then gives you a pullback, then we can be a good opportunity to go long. Let's look at S&P. So S&P up until this was till yesterday. Okay, so yesterday I was expecting we see some kind of a fall from this, all right, and then a bounce. Okay, and this was the midpoint, 41.43, and then we said that if the price closes above 41.43, it will be a bullish signal and the signal to go long. Now none of that thesis basically got disrupted by this 530 candle. So this 530 same buying happened in S&P as well. So it was a huge sell off in the US dollar, which means buying in all currencies except the US dollar, and at the same time buying in equities as well. So equities also got happy because of this CPI news. Right. But again, we did not fall off as much as I was expecting. Basically gave a bounce from here only. So we saw this kind of a, bar, and then the price simply continued to go up. Okay. So now I think we can remove these two and get the price action here and observe. Okay. We are back at 4200 zone, which is, a bit of a resistance zone. Okay. So this particular high was 4177. Now we are high at 4200. In fact, interestingly, so in the main S&P index, we have given a gap up, and we are hovering above this particular previous day low. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I really don't want to look at the S&P index as such, but S&P futures, which is much more, continuous and good looking as compared to S&P. So now let's see which way the tide turns. If it turns upward, then it's going to be a one big up move. Okay. If it does not, then we may see another consolidation pullback, some sort of pullback all over again. Lastly, let's take a look at the Nifty. So Nifty 50, same thing. The price was pretty much going sideways within this broadening formation, but then today happened. Okay, so today same time 5:10 to 6:10 and so on, and we are back, and then we are far away. Okay, so from where we closed somewhere around here, somewhere around 17,530, and we are right now at 17,720. So we are very good 200 points away, which means bulls must be really happy. Okay, Nifty bulls would be really happy tomorrow, and they would see this target most likely tomorrow itself, 17,730 target. Okay, so this particular line will most likely be breached tomorrow with the gap. If not the gap, maybe in the first 15 minutes or so. The interesting part would be what happens afterwards. Okay, because theoretically, technically, we are still within this, sort of a broadening formation range. Although from here the price has risen all the way from 17,300 all to 17,700. Okay, but if you remove this sort of a surprise move aside, we were kind of still somewhere in the mid zone on the Nifty 50 index. Okay, yeah. So this is a bit about the state of the market today. And the highlight, of course, was the big fall in the US dollar, which led to a big rise in everything else, all at the same time simultaneously. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a good evening and happy trading. Bye bye.